Here. What's up, guys? First of all, I think we're good on the audio issues from earlier, but please let me know one way or the other. Hope your early slate's going well. If not, maybe you can turn it around on the night, main, whatever's going on. What's up, Mac, Jake, Dylan? Hope you're all doing all right. We've got to sneeze. Oh, that burns. You ever? But then you don't, and then it. Oh. Yeah, I so did a little research on how we could fix the audio, and I guess I learned a little bit more about gain. And I thought gain was more for, like, I don't know, suppression and whatever, but it's not. It actually can go both ways. So I turned gain up, which makes the mic sensitivity through the stream a little bit louder. One of the things it may also do is include a little bit more background noise, but we got music, it's whatever. So you might hear a train here and there. You might hear some chickens, some roosters. But for the most part, we're good. I'm going to be a little distracted because, you know, we love some Yankees. The Yankees got 2 on. Oswaldo Cabrera's at the plate. No outs. 1-run game. Chased Kramer out for Gillespie. And he's got a full count to Oswaldo. Swung on, drilled to deep right field. That's a gapper. It's going to split left and center fielders. Mullins fields it. Stanton gets home. We've got a tie ball game. Oh, Glaber got home too. That's a 2-run double. Yankees take the lead. That's just what you love to see. You love it. Anyway, so if you don't mind a little bit of that sprinkled in with some research, we'll have some fun, laid-back Cadillac Jack on a Friday night. We have got, 5 to 6 games, depending on which site you're playing on. Fanduel's included the 6:40 p.m. Eastern game out there in Tropicana. DraftKings has not. So if you're playing on DraftKings, this first game's not for you. We got Zach Eflin up against Ken Waldichuk, who I believe used to be in the Yankee system. Lefty versus righty. Tropicana should be neutral for weather because it's in a dome. But it typically plays more pitcher-friendly. Referring back to Kevin Ross' weather report over there on rotogrinders.com/weather/MLB. Overall, it feels like we got a pretty decent day for weather. I remember earlier he had this Atlanta game as orange-yellow, and now it's just straight-up yellow, so that's pretty good. So it looks like weather's not going to be that much of a factor tonight. So we can focus on the pitching here a little bit and see what we might like, what we might dislike. In the grand scheme of this slate, we do have decent run totals in the Atlanta game. We also have cores. So eyes are probably not going to be on Athletics and Rays, especially not on the Athletic side. Keeping an eye on ownership. Yeah, it looks like you can get this game relatively low owned. So, do we want some access to the pitchers? Well, Zach Eflin, usually not a guy we expect to ever roster much with any conviction. Last year carried a 21% K rate, 1.12 whip, a 3.27 expected ERA, and almost an 18% called strike percentage. So not the worst, not the best, just kind of a get me over type of stat line. Almost 9K on Fanduel. If you play Zach Eflin here with these numbers, you're hoping that he gets through a quality start, and you're also kind of hoping that this Athletics lineup gifts him a few strikeouts, as there are some decent high K-rate guys. Ramon Laureano, Shea Langoliers, Jace Peterson, Esteury Ruiz. A lot of guys with 25+% K rates. So, normally I'm probably not looking at Eflin, but I do think on this slate, especially with FanDuel scoring in mind and just kind of reverting back to pitching. There's a couple of obvious upside guys at the top. Kershaw, Woodruff, guys with strikeout potential. Woodruff's matchup's tougher. I think the D-backs are more scrappy than the public perceives. But you could just see a mid range of outcomes for pitching. So maybe Eflin isn't completely useless if we're managing a portfolio of lineups. So let's go to game log. Let's go to plate discipline. 17% swinging strike rate against the Tigers. Tigers do that, though. 70% first pitch strike. And then looking at the batted ball data, 50% ground ball rate. Also a high hard contact rate, but a usable xFIP at 3.14. So we like that. Let's go look at pitch types. 92.6 on the fastball. Also threw a cutter and a curveball. Compare that to last season. Fastball, cutter, curveball, all essentially linear. So I will say that I think Eflin makes the player pool. So I'm going to start him off as a tier 3. Obviously, I don't think he has as much strikeout upside just because he's not historically a strikeout pitcher. But that's, I mean, a 17% swing and strike rate is pretty doggone good. But it could be an anomaly just based on the Tigers. So with that said, man, going from Tigers to Athletics in your first 2 starts, some guys get all the luck. Ken Waldichuk on the other side. Let's pull up his. You'd be roster Eflin. You could, yeah. I mean, you could play on both sides, but Waldichuk in his first outing. Now his numbers might not look as great as maybe they could because he had the Angels. Is that a balk? Did he just take third? 55.6% first pitch strike, batted ball data, not on his side. The fly ball rate 43%, line drive almost 24%. With a low hard contact rate. So comparable to last year, 4.2 xFIP. Hard contact was fine. Pull rate's high, fly ball rate's high, and line drive rate's here. So he does have some metrics that we look at to project homers. And then last year's overall play discipline, 11.6% swing and strike rate. So not the best, not the worst. So I don't really have a ton of front end interest in pitching Waldichuk on Fanduel, just because I think this Rays team is really good against lefties. A lot of 290, 300 hitters, a lot of low K rate guys. So I think I skip out on the Waldichuk experience. I'm a little bit interested in the Rays as a stack, and I do wonder that, you know, on a slate that's going to offer you the Padres, the Braves, Coors Field, stuff like that. Will they get lower owned than they should, or do they get that first game ownership boost, which we see more so in other sports? But the strikeout potential, especially in the first 6, really, really low against lefties. So no Waldichuk for me. I do think we put the Rays on the stack list, obviously, but we'll have to play with exactly how much of our cumulative ownership we want to allocate to the Rays. But Ray stack, yes. Eflin, yes. Waldichuk, no. And what do you guys think on Athletics? I think where I'm at right now, I'm probably going to say no. But there's a couple of guys, I guess not really. The only guy I ever really dabble with is Zunino against a guy that's closer to a contact pitcher, but he's not in the lineup today. So anyone here grabbing a high grade? Seth Brown is easily the best player on the Athletics. 3.91 on the bomb detector. Gonna bat lefties. Zach Eflin against lefties. 277 average allowed. 4.5 xFIP. I guess if I had to cherry pick one guy, it would be Seth Brown. So if you leave him in the if you're running 4-3-1s and Seth Brown fell a few times in non-Eflin lines, I don't think that's crazy. But I don't know that I want to dedicate some of the portfolio if we're running 50 or less to the Athletics. But Rays, yes. Let's get caught up on chat. Nats look good today, yeah. Love them cheap Rays bats tonight. You go to the Rays to get leverage off the Coors game, yeah. Definitely so. Kyle Snyder got Eflin throwing 5 different pitches. I'm going to keep an eye on that. We'll see if that swing and strike rate continues. I also will say, remember, strength of schedule matters. So even if he walks away today with a big swing and strike rate, we just got to remember, man, it's the Tigers and Athletics. We're going to have to see that play against a more average team. I think the strength of schedule is definitely on his side here, but it's also something. The Rays are one of the smarter teams in baseball, especially when it comes to developing, managing pitchers. So it's not like it wouldn't be the craziest thing if Eflin was all of a sudden good. They tend to do that. Wander or Rondi tonight or Yandy. Ooh, that's so close. I mean, that's a coin flip. Both have the exact same grade in the bomb detector. Pretty linear stats overall. From maybe, how much do we lose if we bring in a righty? I don't know. I guess I would lean Wander just for the switchy, but I think they're both incredible plays. We're coin flipping right there. Here, what up, Ryan? Hope you're doing all right today. Appreciate you guys being here. I know the airwaves were kind of clogged, and I know earlier the stream wasn't as smooth as I want it to be when I go live. But I do think, hey man, if we're gonna have some technical difficulties, at least it was on a 30-person stream, and I was able to fix what needed to be fixed. So that's what we got from Game 1. Padres at the Braves. Next game on the docket. I guess we should throw a little bit of that yellow on there, as Mr. Roth indicated that we could still be dealing with some weather. He said worst of the weather looks to stay clear of the ballpark. Still a chance for a delay, but so long as they are okay with cool, breezy, damp weather, they should be good to go. So that's good news. If you guys don't have this page bookmarked, you probably should. So Nick Martinez, the guy that I'm really not that interested in the first outing for him. He did throw a ton of pitches. So if pitch count means something to you, we saw 101 pitches, 7 innings out of him in that first outing against the Rockies. Rockies certainly, at least perceptually, inferior talent-wise to the Atlanta Braves. 5 strikeouts in that game, 2 walks. I don't think Nick Martinez against the Braves is somewhere I want to get to, especially with a little bit of weather floating around. But let's go see if he had any underlying metrics that should make me double take him here. So we'll go to game log discipline. Dude, this Ian Hamilton kid is nasty. He has a slurve curve slider that they call the Slambio, and he has just been freezing guys. And we saw this in the last outing too. The Yankees just be finding these guys. He's like this year's Michael King. 12.9% swing and strike rate. That's good. 69% first pitch strike. That's nice. Just about a 4 xFIP. Hard contact is incredibly low and high ground ball rate. So again, strength of schedule, that's deep fudge, man. He cut it off though, but Mateo getting on first base is a problem. It's one of the biggest stolen base threats in all of baseball, especially with Mullins up, 1 out in a 1-run game. I would almost anticipate. I would be sure Mateo's going to go here. I'm sorry, Chad. I'm sorry. What up, KJ? So I'm kind of on the fence. He just chased Hamilton out. See, I know they had... Man. This would have been a good Wandy spot. Bringing a lefty. They should have had double barrel action up. I'm kind of... I don't think I played Nick Martinez against this good of a team. So I'm probably going to stay out. But I will say, like, if you're thinking with a contrarian mindset, there are some metrics from that first game that aren't the worst to use. And it is a deep pitch count. So maybe on Fanduel, he's still like steals a quality start. And maybe his team gets him the wind. I think I'm going to sit this one out. But this is one of those spots where I wouldn't point and laugh at you if you went there. Jared Schuster for the Braves. I think we looked him up, and he had a good pedigree in the minors. Struggled maybe in the first outing, but that's to be expected. And now he gets the Padres. 4.2 innings against the Nats. Just 1 strikeout, 5 walks. So that's going to be a problem. Let's go look at his minor league numbers and see if this is something we should be worried about. 212.1 innings in his minor league career, 235 strikeouts, just a 109 whip. So definitely a strikeout pitcher. So that one strikeout looks to be more of an anomaly versus what we should expect from him long term. Last year in 27 innings against lefties, 34 K. So well over a strikeout per inning against lefties, 63.1 innings against righties, 72 K. So over a strikeout per inning to both sides. The ground ball rate is higher to righties, 0.7 ground out to air out ratio to lefties, and the whip was higher to lefties as well. On top of what kind of walks we're working with, 9 walks in 27 innings, 13 walks in 63. So it looks like he is low-key reverse splits, right? For a lefty. Looking at the minor league numbers last year, higher average allowed to lefties, higher whip to lefties, higher walk rate to lefties, 6 homers in 27 innings to lefties. That's crazy. So, what kind of pitches were we working with in that first game? Like anything on PrizePicks? Well, I'll take some peeks. I think this would be an offense night for PP. Here, what up, Wes? All right, Ron Marinaccio. I figured he would pitch today for sure. Wonder if they're gonna hold Mateo. Right down. Oh, it's a pick play. Good. Rizzo's so good. 9% swing and strike rate in that first outing. 8.83 xFIP, not what you want. 9.13 Sierra. I think a lot of that is definitely correlated with that increased walk rate. And then advanced stats, 353 BABIP. What was that fly ball rate? 47% fly ball rate. So he is. Runner was gone. 0-2 the count. I think he's somebody that's going to be more volatile than not this early into his career. And I also think he's somebody we might find some value in terms of field ownership on guys like Juan Soto and Jake Cronenworth, but especially Juan Soto, just because his lefty splits were so bad in the minors. And that's all we have to go off of. And those guys can draw walks and work his pitch count. Mateo takes the lead, 0-2 count. Comes to the plate. Mateo stays fouled away, stays alive. We're going to redo that 0-2 count. So give me the Padres bats. Give me the Braves bats. In large field Fanduel, I take a dab of Nick Martinez, and I don't think I get to Schuster here. So let's Braves, Padres, and then we'll put Nick Martinez down here. Runner goes. He's safe. I mean, you're just not going to get Mateo out, unfortunately. The kid is nasty. I think he stole the most bags in the American League last year, maybe. He's crazy with it. Large, man. I mean, yeah, he's safe. Pitch type. Look at pitch types for Schuster. Fastball at 90. Yikes. That's not going to play well. 25% slider usage at 82. And then a changeup at 80. So, not the worst pitch mix. Let's go to Baseball Savant if you guys don't mind. Let's see if they've added metrics on these pitches. Oh, that's a swing and bunt. Essentially gets the runner at once. So 2 outs with Mateo on third. White Sox, Pittsburgh going in. Yeah, I was all over the White Sox for sure. Pittsburgh has 4 though. I was a little bit pessimistic. Like I have some Giolito. I mostly pitching kind of tanked that early slate. Like I still think Wheeler's output is probably gonna be the best, but that's a great example of baseball. Not every slate are you gonna have the 10 strikeout pitcher. Oh, I already pulled up Schuster, right? Okay. He had a 38.5% whiff rate on that changeup. Didn't miss bats with the slider. You want that to be different. That's a strike. I'll take it. 1-1. And then the expected slugging, 670. So he's kind of all over the place. So I'm not going to play him for now, but I will pick on him. Pittsburgh has 7. Oh, I was going off of the scoreboard here. Dang, Pittsburgh, huh? Oh, yeah, now I see it. Dude, Brian Reynolds has been just tearing the cover off the baseball. He homered. Oof. All right, let's move on. Cardinals and the Brewers. Jack Flaherty taking on Brandon Woodruff. I'm sorry, Chad. 3-1. Marinaccio up against Adley Rutschman. Jorge Mateo on third. The pitch swung on and missed. Now got a full count. Implied run total for the Cardinals is 3.9. The Brewers 4.8. So 4.8 is, in context of this slate, going to be like 4th or 5th. But it would have been like first on the early slate. So that's still a near 5 run total against Jack Flaherty, who certainly left a lot to be desired out there in the first game, where he was just walking batter after batter. The pitch swung on, fouled away. We're going to redo that 3-2 count. Let's go look at his plate discipline from that first game. And this was something that we saw in his spring outings as well. His command is something that has gotten away from him. 8.4% swing and strike rate in that first game. That's not really what you want. 72% first pitch strike. That's actually incredible considering, man, another foul away, that he was walking hitters the way he was. A 12.6% walk per nine. Not what you want. 6.43 FIP, and then the XFIP was 8 plus XFIP, almost a 9 Sierra. 50% ground ball rate. So he's got to tighten things up. Budge. Adley just hit Mateo in. That's going to tie the game. So I don't think I'm that enamored with Jack Flaherty right now. Even last year, what we have to go off of, which was very, under 40 innings, but dipping into the season prior, but especially last year, had an elevated xFIP and the strikeout rate was down. The expected ERA the last 2 seasons has been pushing 5. So I'm certainly interested in this Brewer stack. And because of the aforementioned higher total teams, maybe we get the Brewers at a discount ownership-wise. And if we had to pick specific guys, Willy Adames has the highest bomb rating. Last year, we saw, even though he only had a 0.61 homer per 9 to righties in that 36-inning sample size, swung over that 0-2. It wasn't like he was blowing them away. He still had a 41% fly ball rate, 23% line drive rate, and struggled to find his own last season. So, I think we load up. Garrett Mitchell has shown some pop, some heroic pop to start this season. Brian Anderson, the same. And this is a team we've watched get to Max Scherzer, right? So Jack Flaherty, if he's not going to have his best stuff, and I don't know what his best stuff is right now in 2023, then I think the Brewers have to be a team that we include in our portfolio of stacks. And then Brandon Woodruff. Swung on and missed. Let's go, baby. Let's go. All right. Basically a new ball game halfway through. Let's see what Woody is bringing to the table. This slate was what we thought it was. 17.5% swing and strike rate in that first outing. Now, the Cubs are very high in K rate, so again, we got to respect small sample size strength of schedule. But Brandon Woodruff, we know, is really good. Last season, a 14.1% swing and strike rate. Going back to that first game, just trying to substantiate the advanced metrics, 2.16 xFIP, 2.23 Sierra. Ground ball rate was really high. Hard contact rate was very manageable at 30%. Anything that we wouldn't want to see or that we expect to be unsustainable? He had 0 barrels allowed, 6 hard hit balls. That's good. All right. I think Woodruff is do you got balls to think pitching wins this slate with as juice as offense is? Click. Me personally, I respect the Cardinals a lot. This is a tough team to strike out as is, and they're a very dangerous team if they're clicking. And Miller Park or American Family Field plays much more hitter friendly than Busch as it is. So I'm very lukewarm. Like, you can't not have some Woodruff if you're managing a portfolio. But like on a different slate where offenses didn't project as well as they do today, I can't remember a slate that was more, let's say, per capita runs per capita. I think this is the highest scoring slate pre-flop, right? There's so many 5-run totals. I don't think we've really had this yet. So because of that, I do think Woodruff is probably going to be tier 3. That coupled with the fact that I think it's just a tough matchup, I keep Woodruff down. That's probably a tier 3. His ownership is pretty incredible at 6 out of 10 lineups right now. We'll probably have Brandon Woodruff on DraftKings, but I get it. There's not a ton of high upside, upper echelon guys. So I think even if Woodruff has a game that we would consider a flop, which could be just like a barely 20 fantasy point game, and he certainly has 30 plus fantasy points potential, but even 20 out of Woodruff at 10K with how this slate could play out, I think 20 could get you there. So maybe I should go tier 2 on Woodruff. But I definitely respect the Cardinals enough to play both sides. I don't think there's many slates where I wouldn't have some back pocket Cardinals stacks, just because this team is actually crazy. And in these youngsters, and they're able to throw a couple more lefties than usual. I wish they would spread them out a little bit more. But yeah, probably playing both sides of that. But it does look like fudge, that's not a strike. That's not a strike, Blue. Man, LeMahieu goes down looking, backwards strike. Or backwards K as Perez steps in. Now they brought a lefty out. He did get LeMahieu looking on a expanded strike zone, I guess you could say. But Judge wasn't really seeing Kramer well, so maybe a lefty will change things up for him. First pitch, fastball. Judge swings right to the second baseman. Fudge. So I guess if you're playing cash games, Woodruff looks like he'll be one of those just chalk block spots if everyone goes with him, sure. And then in large field tournaments, just the fact that he's 60% owned, you might expect is going to create the Cardinals at one of the lowest owned teams on the entire slate, because it's the inverse. I mean, we're talking, 1%? Yeah. There's no way I wouldn't have some Cardinals here. So I like that. Might even do something crazy with, maybe not that crazy. Let's get caught up on chat. Chrome Zone, let's go. Dodger stacks going to determine my night on Yahoo, late night hammer season. Ryan, I gotta check out Yahoo baseball a little bit more. I coded their stuff into my NBA product, but I haven't played them for baseball. Especially with the CSV uploads that they added, a year ago, 2 years ago. Might have to look that up. The prize pool's worth grinding. No Flaherty. Yes, Brewers. Yes, Woodruff. Yes, Cardinals. I'm probably in that order. Nationals at the Rockies. Coors Field, Jose Urena up against Mackenzie Gore. Luis Robert back-to-back. Or double dong. Let's go. I think Robert ended up being my highest owned player on that early slate, so that's good. But it's not like he was low owned. Never get Judge right. Every time I play him, he does nothing. I don't play him. He homers on the first pitch. That's baseball, Susan. Catalza, I would like to ask that you never play him again. But at this rate, we might get another Judge at bat. This game could get crazy. Nationals have a 5.7 run total. Jose Urena has a 6.1. Mackenzie Gore part of the Soto trade from San Diego. 5.2 expected ERA in 70 innings last year, almost a 10% barrel rate, 1.5 whip. Urania, historically, many years of sample size, just not that good. 1.5 plus whip the last 3 seasons. Expected ERA cumulatively over 5. Just not much to want to play Urania for. No strikeout upside, nothing like that. So even if you wanted to be contrarian and just like fade Coors or go the other way, it's not one of those spots where you reverse fade, right? You're not going to play Urania because he just doesn't have upside. Mackenzie Gore, I'm not going to play him, but unlike Urania, he has shown some strikeout prowess. But I do think this Rockies team against lefties is going to be a little bit more scrappy and a little bit more of a problem. CJ Cron, Chris Bryant, Elehuris Montero, Elias Diaz, guys that I can get behind. Ezekiel Tovar, some pop, some power here. So I'm fine with getting back to the core stack. Maybe there's some hot hands touching the stove from yesterday. Looks like the Nats are going to be extremely high owned. The Rockies are actually not even top 2. Looks like the Dodgers might beat out the Rockies in ownership against Madison Bumgarner. I don't know if that'll hold, but we'll see. I could see some sour action from yesterday. But I certainly do like the Rockies, and I do like the Nationals. I don't think we're going to play either pitcher. I'm not. No. So pretty simple there. Bomb Detector likes Chris Bryant, Ezekiel Tovar. Those two. Chris Bryant especially, man, second. That's good news. What's the pitch report say for Gore versus Chris Bryant? Fastball, Bryant projects well against that. Slider projects well against that. Curveball projects well against that. So plus grades against everything, but extremely plus grades on the 3 main pitches that McKenzie might throw to Bryant. So Bryant's the guy to watch. Do we talk about Schuster? I did. I don't think I'm going to play Schuster, and I would say keep an eye on his reverse splits. But Schuster is a big strikeout guy. That's what his minor league pedigree suggests. And oftentimes we see those type of pitchers not transfer to the big leagues right away, but they get there. So it's completely reasonable to want to keep being there before everyone else, because he'll have a breakout game sooner or later. But I do respect the Padres enough, and I'm looking at the Vegas totals, all that. I think I'm just going to avoid that here. But I wouldn't fault you for taking that plunge. MLB and NBA best contest in Yahoo's 3 to 5K first range. NBA should get up to 10K. If they still have 12% rake, I have to check that out. I have to remind myself to do that. Who's going yard? Tell you what the Bomb Detector likes. Bomb Detector really likes Trace Thompson, historical lefty masher. Fudge, man. Leadoff walks never end well. Bomb Detector likes the Dodgers, and then Chris Bryant and Ezekiel Tovar. Fudge, man. Come on, Marinaccio. Let's get a double play ball. One time for the one time. Did we get any more lineups? We did get an Angels lineup. That's a strike. Taylor Ward, Mike Trout, Ohtani, Renfroe, Jake Lamb, Brendan Drury, Gio Urshela, Logan O'Hoppe. Who's that? Oh, Jimmy Cordero. So we're still waiting on the other 3 lineups from the West Coast, but we do have the Angels. The Angels used to be the team we wait on. So far, so good. All right, little mound visit. Get right at the first pitch ball. It's Gunnar Henderson. Trust your stuff here. Get a ground ball. It's turn 2. Come on, kid. Not kid. Marnaccio's good, but Chris Bassett up against Patrick Sandoval. Another, two powerhouse teams that You never feel great about pitching against. 4.7 run total for the Blue Jays, 5.1 for the Angels. Another high total game. Swung on and missed. Good pitch. Let's go pull up Bassett's first game. I don't remember it being that sharp. Outside, 2-1. 5% swing and strike rate. Not what you want. But again, the Cardinals. We respect the Cardinals, so we won't overreact on a one-game results, especially against good teams, and inversely against bad teams. 7.1 xFIP, 6.9 Sierra. I need that call. 3-1. Yikes, man. Yikes. I think you have to take all the way here. Let's look at his pitch. 91.1 fastball velocity, 86.7 on the cutter, 69 on the curve. That's right. That's right. Full count. Come on, baby. Let's look at the fastball velo from last year. So 91 seems kind of low. Last year was at 93. So I was looking for a little bit of velo, but 1.5, 2 mile an hour velocity difference on opening day. I'm not gonna go crazy about that. Cutter's at 87. Last year it was at 89, so that's down. And then changeups at 83. Last year at 85. So he's a little bit slower all the way around, velocity-wise. Full count. The payoff pitch. He gone. That's strikeout. Let's go, Blue. That's a stolen base, though. I think he was going for a hit and run. He forgot the hit part. It's all right. We'll take the out. Let me see if there's anything fundamentally different in Bassett's pitches on Savant. He's had a higher exit velocity in one game so far. Whatever. Expected slugging is through the roof. Again, I'll get Jesus. 44.7 expected ERA. That's crazy. Let's compare fastball. Yeah, his stuff just did not look good. But tough matchup. So the Angels are a team that, though they have good players and a lot of decently projected ISO, like 1 through 6, right? Especially the Trout Ohtani lane. Lots of ISO there, but it does come with some strikeouts. So if you're willing to not overreact to one game sample size, like, I get it. 8,100. Could you get 16, 20 out of them? Spacious park. I'm on the fence. In shorter amount of lineups, I'm probably more inclined to say, hey, Vegas knows what they're talking about. That 5-run total and these metrics from game 1, right? It's one thing to be unlucky, and usually the metrics will understand it and tell us that when it comes to, swing and strike rate, xFIP, stuff like that. But that's not really the case here. 5% swing and strike rate coupled with a drop in velocity. The expected metrics are against them. The hard contact rate is through the roof. What was the barrel rate that game? He gave up 5 barrels, man. That's crazy. So the Cardinals are good, but that's probably too much. So I don't trust Bassett here, but I understand if you guys do. It's kind of a cop-out. But I think from where I'm at, in 20 or less lineups, I'm not getting the Bassett here. And then we'll pick on him, obviously, with the Angels. And then the Angels to have this kind of run total, looking at their ownership, it's really not that... It's not that crazy. It's like 5 out of 100. And they have a 5.1 run total. So Rays are at 5.1, Braves are 5. I mean, they're right up there with everything that's not Coors. And I guess the Dodgers. So I would say perhaps they're under-owned. So we're going to throw some Angels in the mix. What the heck was that? Jimmy Cordero. Not a good first pitch. They're calling it a wild pitch. Oh, God. He drilled that. Oh, God. Off the wall. Fudge. RBI double for Frazier. He's making quite the home debut. Patrick Sandoval on the bump up against this Blue Jays team. There's just nowhere. We finally get like on a non-A slate, we get like above average-esque pitchers, and they're all in like not great matchups, right? Kind of the same here for Sandoval. The Blue Jays, you think about the Blue Jays, think about, man, they got some beefy righties, and Sandoval being the lefty. But he's a crafty lefty. 9% swing and strike rate in that first game against Oakland. You'd probably want to walk away with a higher swing and strike rate. You certainly would want a higher first pitch strike, 50%. So, like, would love to be 70% on something like that. But it wasn't. Especially if you're not, if your swing and strike rates, I don't know. Almost a 5 xFIP, 5.34 Sierra. Hard contact's usable. Ground ball rate's really good. Man, that was a high throw. All right, runner on third, 2 outs. We'll take it. And he did give up. Did give up a bomb, right? Sandoval. Two strikeouts. So last year, this overall swing strike rate is about 13.3%. And against righties, because we're expecting a bunch of righties, he had a 23.4% K rate, a 0.63 home run per 9, which had a 46% ground ball rate with it. Also had an over 10% walk rate. God dang it. Fudge, man. This kid, man, is that really... In this situation, Cordero was the first thought. We had a day off. You get higher leverage arms. Loaizaga, Holmes should have been available. Is Wandy not usable? Like, what are we? Why are we bringing in Cordero? Fudge, man. It's just why. There he goes again. I don't get it. I don't get it. Fudge, man. I'm sorry, chat. My bad, chat. And this Blue Jays lineup, other than Matt Chapman, who has just been off to an incredible start, not a ton of high strikeouts either. So I think we're starting to make a list where there's not like a ton of strikeout upside in most of these pitchers. So if we just live with 16 to 20 fantasy points, do you think that's plausible for Sandoval? Full count. I think he's in a pull. Like if you're fine with 2x today, sure. But how do you not take Blue Jays against a lefty, right? So you probably have to teeter both sides of this fence and balance the seesaw a little bit. God dang it! Sorry. Blue Jays came in with a 4.7 run total. And there's really not much I'm looking at in this lineup that I wouldn't take. So I would prioritize the hitting in this game. I don't think you're out of your mind to take a shot on either pitcher. But in 20 or less, I don't think I'm that enamored. That's a strike. You like Matt Olson for a dong? Let's go. The Rays will never lose ever again. Just undefeated. Fudge 0-2. Come on, Jimmy, man. Put this guy down. All right, one game left on the docket. Still no lineup for that game, right? Let me open up MLB DFS. No, just the Angels lineup, right? Alright, cool. I don't like CJ Cron at 4,400 at Fanduel. Seems a bit pricey. I wouldn't really stress too much over individual player prices. Home run is value, right? It doesn't really matter what it is, what the price is. I don't pay any attention to pricing other than I need money to get players. You know what I mean? It's not like basketball. The only spot where I really freak out on salary is pitcher, or if a hitter gets to like 6K on FanDuel. All right, we're out of there. We got 6 outs to make up these 2 runs. Why do we bring in Jimmy Cordero? Clayton Kershaw's on the bump against Mad Bum. We've got some pretty juicy totals here for the Dodgers. Dodger at 5.6 run total, and we do have a Dodgers lineup. Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, JD Martinez, Max Muncy, Miguel Vargas is batting 5th. I had him 6th, and that also moves Trace Thompson up, so that's better for us. James Outman's batting 7th. Chris Taylor, man, what's he got to do to get a higher spot in the batting order? Then Austin Barnes. I hate Austin. Is your 9-hole. So we'll green like that. Don't have a blue or D-backs lineup. D-backs 3.7 run total. Dodgers 5.6. Clayton Kershaw, really good. 2.5 expected ERA last season. 28% K rate. Then his first outing, I believe the results were really, really sharp. 9 strikeouts in 6 innings. 76 pitches. We might be worried about that, but we also might not. But at this stage in his career, I don't think he's going to be like a 90 to 100 pitch guy in the second start of the season. So we might be leaning on him to be more efficient with, 15 to 20 less pitches maybe than the leash of some other guys. But I'm okay with that because we know him long enough to trust him to be efficient, especially the last couple seasons. 16% swing and strike rate against this D-backs team, 71.4%. First pitch strike batted ball data was less than 1. That's insane. Buck and a quarter on the Sierra. Hard contact's really good. Ground ball rate's really good. And let's go look at pitch type: fastball, slider, curveball. So looking at last year, fastball, slider, curveball. It looks like everything's pretty linear. So Kershaw's gonna make it. Have you guys seen anything about the roof? Kershaw's going to make the tier 2. He's second to Woodruff in projected ownership last that I looked. And I will say, I think I'm more scared of the Cardinals than the Diamondbacks, especially if the roof is closed in Arizona. But I don't actually know that. Chase Field roof. Let's see if... sometimes they'll show it on the website. I know a lot of times early in the season... Man, we got Giancarlo against a lefty. 1 and 2. What is today? The 7th. Open. So the roof is expected to be open. There's going to be more air. Fouled away. Get out. And we're pushing 80-degree temperatures. So we've seen a lot of really cool games today, temperature-wise. But this game is borderline, a late day game till late, and we popped the lid open, so it's gonna be more hitter friendly. So that's a big plus for the Dodgers. 1 and 2 to Stanton. Oh, hooks it. Stanton down the line. If it get past, he does. That could be 2. Stanton around first. Hustling. I think we pinch run for Stanton here. No, not with 2 outs, right? No, not with 2 outs. I wouldn't do that. Heck no. No. Now with no outs. I'm sorry. But I'll keep Kershaw where I'm at. But I think I might be like right now. The field's got Woodruff then Kershaw. I think I'm the other way. I think I'll go Kershaw Woodruff. Come on, Glaber. Come up big here. So that's how I play that. Dodgers without saying. And then, who are we scared of here on the D-backs against the lefty? Ketel Marte, Evan Longoria. Attaboy, Glaber, get down. Let's go. Corners. Huge. Dude, Glaber has been so good. So good to start the season. And I think he came in this game leading the league in stolen bases. So let's go ahead and see if we can't put 2 runners in scoring position. But then it's a lefty on the bump. Although I feel like it would have just hit the lefty out. Was Waldo up? Baker warming up. I don't think that there's much interest for me in Madison Bumgarner. This stage in his career, I'm at war with him every 5 days. 5.53 expected ERA last season. Lowest K percentage of his career, 10% barrel rate last season. And then we saw in that first game, was that the Trace Thompson triple dong game or nah? Game log. Come on, Oswaldo. 6% swinging strike rate in that game. Oswaldo, get down, ball. Let's go. Let's go. I'd double steal here, but I'm greedy. 8.85 xFIP with a 7.85 Sierra. Kind of crazy. Fly ball rate's nuts. The pull rate is whatever, but it doesn't even matter. When you're giving up, yeah. So I'm not even going to think about playing Mad Bum. We're full send in Dodgers. Bomb Detector has Dodgers all the way at the top. Mookie, JD, and then Trace Thompson's at the tippy top. And Trace Thompson's just been that guy against lefties. He does bring a high K rate with him, but with Mad Bum having just like a 6% swing and strike rate, we can just kind of neutralize that down. But if we look at Trace Thompson's overall splits against lefties, and I know it's going to be like short sample size every season, but he ain't new to this when it comes to hitting lefties with power, right? So we'll go 2022. What the heck? Splits. Three bombs and 96 or 86 at bats with seven doubles last season, 2020. And then what's more important to me is the batted ball data against lefties, because that's what the Bomb Detector is thriving off of right now. Is 40% fly ball rate, 60% pull rate, 44.4% hard contact rate. Yeah, there's a really dreamy spot for Trace Thompson. So Thompson is the guy to watch, and he is at the very, very top of the Bomb Detector today. Might only get 2 implied at-bats against Mad Bum, but is what it is. And then he might be a pinch hit risk. I'm not sure what the D-backs have ready out of the bullpen, but we can look if they go lefties or if they even have lefties. They got Andrew Chafin last pitched on Monday, and Kyle Nelson pitched yesterday. So if a righty comes in, Trace may not be long for this game. But if the stack goes off, like if they get a 6-run lead, Dave Roberts would probably be likelier to leave him out there and get some reps in. So I'm okay with that. Get caught up on chat. I don't get how the Rockets going to be loaned. I just think it's a luxury of a lot of stacks with potential, right? Dodgers, even the Blue Jays, Angels have potential. And the Rockies, it's not that the Rockies are low owned, right? They're still top 3 in ownership. They're just in the shadows of the Dodgers. I think the more damning stat is that they're like less than half the ownership of the Nationals, which that's probably not balanced, right? It should probably be a little more balanced than that, but it's not like they're contrarian. Trevino's showing bunt outside. I'm not surprised, but maybe I get IKF on deck. That's a shame. You have Martinez as a one-off. JD Martinez. Ooh. He's safe, though. Trevino almost just ate that fastball. All right, so that's our slate. So the list that we came up with: Woodruff, Kershaw, tier 2; Eflin, Martinez, tier 3. Eflin is pretty decently separated in my book from Martinez. I think I wish Bassett's underlying metrics from game 1 were a little bit better, but I do think if you threw Bassett in Fudge, that's a double play. Unlucky. Good play. I think if you put Sandoval and Bassett in your player pool, I don't think that's crazy. I think you can substantiate it. With Bassett, you're just looking to last season, say he can find that. And Sandoval is like an okay to good pitcher. It's just a really tough matchup that scares me. So if I was running 100 plus, I would though. I think I'm only gonna run 25 lineups. So I'm just gonna try not to win with the stack. Stolen base. We take third here. I would love like a wild pitch right now. Yeah, he's safe. But that's our slate. What are you guys thinking? What do you guys got? So we'll go power calls here. We're gonna put Chase Thompson, and then we'll set some exposure levels. Oh man, God, I wish that stayed fair. I kind of like the thought of Juan Soto, y'all. And that's not going to show up on the bomb detector because Schuster doesn't have big league sampled for the algorithm to go off of. But man, those Schuster minor league stuff was, we say 6 homers against lefties in 27 innings. That's a lot. I think like Juan Soto's, one of those powerhouse bats that could just be off of people's radars. And you guys mentioned Matt Olson in chat. Yeah, 1.6 homer per 9 last year for Martinez to lefties makes sense. Fudge, man. IKF is just late. Like, just late. Gleyber and Alfonso Soriano. Ooh, it's early. But man, so many people are ready to trade Gleyber after a down year. So far, so good. Fudge, man. IKF strikes out swinging. It's all right. We got one run back. We got to keep it where it's at. Pass the baton to the top of the lineup. DJ Judge, Rizzo, if we get the 9-hole on. And Volpe. If Volpe can draw a walk, steal the base. That's where I'm speaking that. We're manifesting that. Volpe's going to lead off walk next inning. Steal second. And then you're going to have DJ Judge and Rizzo with a chance to tie it up. Yeah, I'm in for that. You love Will Smith today. He's not starting. So is Austin Barnes just Kershaw's caddy? Some pitchers will specifically work, especially like these old school aces. Barnes just might straight up be Kershaw's caddy. And one of the things you can do to check stuff like that, and this is a little bit wonkier. I guess we'll go baseball reference. But you can actually look up pitcher splits with catchers. But yeah, Will Smith's bat was pretty good to start the season. Barnes, Kershaw day. Yeah. What up, Arch? Yeah, you guys want to do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, man. I know I've been distracted. Splits. Let's go look at last year's splits. That's his caddy. Okay. I think the kid from the Angels at 3.4K is decent one-off gun, especially since the Angels aren't getting steamed. The kid from the Angels. Let's go pull that up. O'Hop, the catcher, Logan O'Hop. I could agree with that. I think the Angels are a good stack too. I like a lot of stacks here. We'll be holding hands with pitchers today. So last season, Austin Barnes caught 13 games of Kershaw, 79.1 innings, 2.38 ERA, a 217 batting average, and 84 strikeouts in 79 innings. Will Smith caught 9 games of Kershaw, 2.1 ERA, 188 batting average. So pretty similar. You could actually argue that better numbers with Will Smith, but I think you get it's the same. It's Kershaw's going to Kershaw. 5 homers in both those games, or in both of those splits, and less innings for the Will Smith side. So yeah, I don't know if you guys didn't know you could do that. You could do that. Normally not something that's like matters, but there have been a couple of times, and a couple of seasons I can recall where I believed in the edge of the catcher splits, and I distinctly remember Kevin Gossman when he was on the Orioles, when Caleb Joseph, help me out, Caleb Joseph, right? Caleb Joseph? Does that sound right to you guys? Was his catcher versus whoever else they had? Like, his splits were so much better, and I would specifically pay attention to that. I don't think it's that big of a deal here. But it is some pitchers do prefer to work with one catcher, and usually it's going to be your veteran steam throwers. Now you bring in Wandy Peralta. Where is he at? Oh my god. Yeah. All right, you guys got any questions, comments, concerns, recommendations, yada yada? As far as streaming for the weekend, I got family just now arriving. I already saw my mom. We have a pretty big family reunion where we've rented a Airbnb, big semi-mansion place. I got family that flew in from New York, from California, from all over the state. So it's a pretty big thing. So I will probably be non-committal to just go ahead and not expect me to put up streams tomorrow or Sunday. But then Monday we're back in business. Wandy with a 4-pitch walk. So here I am saying, where was Wandy? And he comes out, or a 6-pitch walk, or 7-pitch walk rather. I know 6-pitch walk. So probably won't have no content, or no live content at least the next 2 days. And then yeah, but we will have the VIP stuff at rundfs.com. I will go make the player pool, have some VIP lineups, and then I also need to dress out and do NBA projections. So that's my next hour. And yeah. But if you guys got anything for me, I'm chilling for now. I'm not in a rush to run, but I don't need to chill for too long. Angels and Brewers look very... Oh, stayed in. Thank God. 2 outs. And I would be sweating the heck out of this 9th inning. Angels and Brewers look very good. Sneaky stacks today. Sprinkling Dodgers, Rays, and Padres. Play the stud pitchers. Yeah, I like that, but I also like the idea of the Cardinals a little bit. But I'm just a sucker for the Cardinals, especially when we put them in a more hitter-friendly park. But Woodruff is really, really good. But I just think anytime there's going to be like a 60% owned pitcher against a good team, you're just getting crazy low ownership on that team, so you don't have to give up much either. So even if I was running just 20 lineups or 10 lineups, I'd probably go ahead and dedicate one Cardinal stack in there just because I think they're that good. I don't feel as oh, fudge, man. Dude, Mountcastle is a problem. Freaking Orioles, dude. Orioles are so good, it's annoying. But I'm eating crow on the Wandy stress, man. I was freaked out when Cordero had those wild pitches. Wandy's coming in, and now he's in a jam. And I guess I kind of see what they were doing with Wandy. They were saving him for the heart of the order, and Cordero couldn't get through the bottom half. So it's on me for stressing out over Booney, but we need one of those change-ups to... We got to out at every base. Just one time, Wandy. One time. Swing and a miss. Twitter.com/Gundecker if you got anything else for me. Those of you that were hanging out earlier, does the audio sound much, much better? Can I get some feedback on that? Because I know earlier it was kind of controversial. But I went and added gain settings, which increased the sensitivity. Also, earphone alert. I'm going to replay Damron's super chat from earlier. People complained that was so much louder than me. So I'm going to replay it now. And you guys let me know if the audio is super jacked.
Bing bang.
Living with Damron super chatted $1.99. Pecker slapping ya. 777,777,777,777.
All right, cool. I appreciate that. And then is the Damron or is the alert still really, really loud compared to everything else, or was that much better now that I'm louder? I appreciate you guys. 2-2. He gone. Let's go, Wandy. Let's go. Yeah, we're gonna go sweat this. Volpe. Volpe walk. It's gonna still second, and that's gonna give us our best three guys in that situation. All right, guys, I'm gonna go finish all the work. I'll be in the Discord. I love you guys. I hope you have a great night, a great weekend. If I don't see you, I'll for sure have a live stream probably Monday or Tuesday. Let's go Yankees. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money.